The biggest thing I'm impressed with though, bro, is like your creativity. Your creativity with this. What inspired the creativity, like as far as like the, the behind the scenes of a basketball, how the basketball mind think or after games
Hmm.
or how they think during pickup and all that good stuff. What inspired that? Like what
I'm not
inspired
gonna
your
lie.
creativity?
I really think it plays into the interest that I had outside of basketball growing up. A lot of people don't notice about, well, people who have been around me my whole life notice about me, but like my audience, they don't know I've been in performing arts since I was a kid. I grew up
Oh,
acting,
word.
singing, and dancing. Like, so outside, like my parents always wanted to make sure I had something to do outside of basketball. Growing up in New York, I could go down to the parks anytime.
Uh-huh.
But when it came to having structured events, basketball wasn't always around like 24/7. My mom's work, my dad worked, and then when it came to they had to drop me off somewhere, and it wasn't always going to be basketball. So taking like the creative side of things from the performing arts and kind of mixing it with basketball. I love biopics, I love movies, I love music, and just trying to find all the different ways that basketball is like woven within that. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. That's dope. Where you from? Where you originally from?
I'm originally from New York, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. No, nice, bro. So I saw you went to Elizabeth City College, which is a Division II college.
Elizabeth
Uh,
City State University.
yeah, so what made you go there? Like, why not Division I? Like, what was your story behind going to a Division II?
My basketball story it's interesting. It's a whole bunch of different different turns.
Well,
It's never a straight and narrow for nobody. You know what
man,
I'm
listen,
saying?
that's why we here. We want to tell the underdog story because I played Division II as well, but I made some mistakes on the journey of my college career, like where I took the financial aid on a year I
Mm-hmm.
was redshirting. You only can get financial aid if you go full time, but if you go full
Mm-hmm.
time, that means it was an NCAA clock that started. So my
Oh yeah,
clock
the running
started.
clock. But all of the eligibility standards that was there when we was playing, it's days out the window now. It's
Got so yeah, so that's what messed me up. So I mean, I'm looking at your athleticism on these videos. I'm like, why my man didn't go Division One? He's about 6'4", he can hoop. Why he go Division One?
So I went to Tabor Academy for high school up in Massachusetts, but my parents had already moved down to North Carolina. So
Mm-hmm.
going to boarding school, that experience alone is like a whole story of its own. But from the basketball standpoint, I played in the knapsack. So we talking Brewster Academy, we talking Cushion Academy. I'm playing
Mm-hmm.
like I thought that I got some exposure to some high major Division I players. I knew physically at that point I wasn't at that level. Yeah, I know right now I'm 6'4", 215 pounds. I wasn't built like this in high school.
Oh, okay, got you.
I was always like around this height. Freshman year, 6 feet. By the end of my senior year, I'm 6'3", pushing 6'4". But I was only 180 pounds, 185 pounds. I was ducking the weight room like crazy. and and it's like one of the only regrets that I have in my high school journey because every coach was telling me like we love the way you play, but you're a little too small to be playing the way that you do. Like you want to play above the rim, you want to get downhill, everything like that. And I could shoot. I shot over 50% from the 3-point line in high school.
Dope.
But my main thing that I wanted to do was get
Get to
get
the
to that
get
rim
to the
and put it
get
on
to the
somebody's head. You
Baja.
feel me?
I heard that.
So I didn't get I actually wound up doing a post grad year because I graduated when I was 17. So
Okay.
I did a post grad year and came down to North Carolina and played at Bull City Prep. And that's where I had my best season. I was averaging 21 points a game, 5 assists, five boards, over 50 from the field, over 50 from the 3-point line. And I had a couple of low D1 looks. It was a lot of word of mouth chatter, and then unofficial visits. I don't know if coaches still do this to the same extent, but this was back when if your coach had the right connections during the live period, coaches will travel down and come see y'all play open gym just to
Right.
get a sense of like how you hoop like outside of the system if they
Yep.
didn't see you during AAU. I had I had got on some low D1 radars, and I think the worst thing that happened to me was one coach before this actually happened my senior year before my post grad year. One coach, I'll never forget this. I had been talking to them over the summer, and I'll go back to school, going back up to Massachusetts for my senior year. And I'm telling everybody, yo, I've been talking to they talking about they getting ready to offer me. Like I'm about to go D1. Like it's I'm about to be up out of here.
Uh-huh.
Man, going through our school, the college applications come around. I'm filling out the Common App because my mom told me you got to be able to get into the school academically regardless. So you might as well just go ahead, apply to school, see where you stand academically, everything like that. I got into the school, and then the coach I was talking to goes, "Well, we see that you just got in, so we could just give you a preferred walk-on type of offer, right?" I said, no, like I can't afford the school. Like I need a scholarship.
Right.
I ain't hear from him after that.
Damn.
Didn't hear from him after that.
The cold water.
until post grad year came around, and now they have a real close connection with the coach I was playing for, Daryl Harris at Bull City Prep. He's telling me, is telling me that they're interested in you. I immediately said, nah, like I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't want to go regardless. Like
I don't blame you. Because once they shake you like that, bro,
that's what I'm saying.
They don't want to put your career in their hands, brother.
So when I seen how that played out, and I like got my first taste of the politics of the game when it goes into the recruiting and everything like that, long story short, I wound up being a JUCO product, and then got an even harsher lesson in reality on where you stand within every level that you play, what it takes to physically play high level basketball. I got my reality check in open gym in JUCO from a 6'7", 245-pound D1 transfer from Kennesaw State. And then by the time I got out of JUCO, it became what was going to be the right fit with especially when it came to making sure that I went somewhere for free, making sure that I had a full scholarship, because I was on full scholarship with JUCO. I had a job, I had money in my pocket. Like I didn't want to switch up my situation to the point where now I'm being another broke college athlete. So now I wound up choosing the wrong school. I mean, they sold me.
So Elizabeth?
No. I wound up committing to Young Harris College, and I hate to speak down on a college because it wasn't the right fit for me. But I learned all of Georgia is not Atlanta, because it was not a friendly environment to be in. I went on my visit during the summertime.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I was in the mountains of North Georgia, off on the Western Carolina. I was driving over from Raleigh on my official visit. Now, when I got to the town, they put me in the little resort that's next to the campus. I'm seeing nothing but Ferraris and crazy sports cars in the parking lot. So I'm like, this town got money. I go on my visit. Everything went fine. Everything was in the summertime though, so there was nobody else on campus.
That's how they get you.
By the time I wound up, long story short, signed my LOI to go there, and then I just was not happy. It was my worst season. It was literally my worst season.
Why weren't you happy? Why weren't you happy?
When you in an environment where nobody looks like you for real outside of campus, and it's not just they don't look like you, they don't want you there. I remember seeing and hearing like, oh, the Klan be meeting down the street. And I'm thinking, like, I'm writing it off like it's nothing, like, you just chatting, you talking, whatever. But turns out it was facts. It was a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on in the town while I was out there. And then I also didn't have the best relationship with the boosters because they didn't like my stances when it came to the politics. This is going into COVID, like after, not to get too political on the pod, but Trump in office now, like this was not friendly territory. I remember the vibe of everything just changing like in real time, and it was the first time that I felt like I was a part like of some negative U.S. history going on. It was crazy.